Alright, people, what the hell is going on? It is time for another Talkin Texans, and I'm trying to remember if I uploaded the last one I had. I have no idea. I probably sat out here for an hour and a half, running my goddamn mouth, and then went into the house and proceeded to not upload video. I'm not sure. I don't know. But anyway, we got the first preseason game out the way last Thursday. It's Sunday now. So we got the last preseason game out the way, and man, look at here. Texas won the game like 20-9. Like I said, it's preseason. So, matter of fact, I do remember talking about this. I don't know if I uploaded it or not. Yeah, it's preseason. So you have to take that for what it is. And you know that teams are going out there to perform, but not necessarily playing to win, if that make any sense to some of you folks out there. You know, they assessing talent and whatnot. But in watching that game, and actually watching, because I think the last video I did, I was talking about how I couldn't watch the game because I had to listen to it. You know, come football season, I don't have over-the-air TV here. Trying to get this shit, the antenna and stuff don't work, so you know, it's whatever. But I did end up being able to watch a replay of the game later on to see actual, you know, game plan, what was going on. Not much has changed. Not much has changed in my thoughts on that. It's preseason game. Now, as far as the beginning of the game about CJ, which is the big thing right now, I'm like, okay, I'm on the side that says they should have let CJ play. You know what I'm saying? It's number 2 pick in the draft. Unless they plan on backloading his reps to where further along in the preseason, I guess you get 3 preseason games or whatnot, I don't know. Further along in the preseason, and during those joint practices that they have, he'll get more reps then. You know what I'm saying? Unless that's they plan to do now, the fact to only have him out there for a handful of snaps, you know, starting the game and only having him in there for a handful of snaps. You know what I'm saying? That might be the plan, but you don't know how them snaps gonna go. And the way those snaps that he got went, it's like, okay. In my mind, I'm like, okay, we got to get him out there and let him build some confidence. Let him go out there. He's a fucking football player. You know what I'm saying? He's a fucking football player. Let him go out there. I'm pretty sure that guy knows what happened in the game. You know what I'm saying? You can call them mistakes or whatever you want to call. I'm pretty sure he knows that. You got to give him a chance to come back from that, because that's part of being a quarterback, is being able to go out there, have some shit happen, whether it's your fault or the other teams or whatever, and be able to come back out on the field, clap your hands, keep on going, short memory. You know what I'm saying? Go out there, okay, blah, blah, blah. That was, last season. Let's go out here and do this. Give them a chance to do that. They didn't give them a chance to do that. You watch the damn highlights, you know what I'm saying? The only thing you see is him getting sacked, him throwing an incompletion and throwing an interception. And then you take him out the fucking game and he don't play no more. And he got to live with that shit. You know what I'm saying? He got to live with that until the next game day, when he didn't have to. You want to talk about psychology of sports and whatnot, let him get back in the game and build on top of that. That's the whole point. This ain't nothing but practice anyway. So let him do what he gonna do. You want the most valuable reps you gonna get before the season start is this right here, the preseason games, where you get in there and you playing full on against other teams, not practice where you holding back and shit. Now, I'm not in nobody's front office. I ain't nobody's coach. So I'm thinking that they might be backloading his reps to where, okay, he only played a couple of quarters. Now, I'm pretty sure the next game against Miami, I think they got a preseason game against Miami this week. And all this shit that people talk about now is not going to be a fucking issue. It's not. If it is, then we got some stuff to really, really talk about. I don't see that. You know what I'm saying? I really don't. I don't see it. Because everybody's sucking on CJ's ding-ding. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I didn't watch him play in college. I don't watch college football. So, you know what I'm saying? I don't see all those stars until they get to the NFL and be ordinary like everybody else. So I don't know. Watching highlights and stuff like that don't show me nothing. Everybody got highlights. You know, everybody coming into the NFL got a fucking highlight reel that's like, woo! You know what I'm saying? Everybody does. But you gotta let them fucking play. At this point, all they did was turn him into an instant internet meme. He went out there 2 series, and those series didn't look all that great. And then they don't play him no more the rest of the goddamn game. And then you have to deal with the fans and shit. And don't act like these players ain't on social media and shit. You know what I'm saying? They might not be posting and tweeting and shit and blah, blah, blah. At least not, you know, the big stars do what the fuck they want to do. But all the rest of these people, especially somebody like CJ that's just not getting in the league. And you're like, don't act like he ain't seeing this shit. You know, don't act like he ain't seeing this shit. And like it won't have an effect on him, some kind of way. Now, they could have a good effect or a bad effect. I'm pretty sure that these days, even though, you know, the last few generations or whatever, I can't say last few generations, whatever these little folks nowadays, you know, kind of used to this whirlwind that shit can go into. His skin might be a little bit thicker than somebody a little bit older than he was that might have got into this whole social media shit new. And being able to hear shit about yourself and all this other stuff and get all twisted up. Nowadays, kids see that shit and be like, and I'm hoping he's one of those. Or I'm hoping that he's one of those chip on the shoulder ass motherfuckers that's like, okay, watch this. And I hope he is. Because I've always been a Davis supporter. Simply because I watched Davis come into the league as somebody that probably should have still been playing college football at the time, because he didn't have a lot of college experience. Come in to the NFL and do well. He wouldn't break it. He wouldn't throw up for like 500 yards a game, no shit. But under the circumstances, Davis Mills came into the league and did well. Big folks might not believe that. Folks might look at it the other way, but you have to look at the team he was playing on. And then look at the team he was playing on the second year, which is worse than the first year. The first year team wasn't all that goddamn bad, to tell you the truth. You know, they had some issues and whatnot, but they had a lot of inner turmoil going on with the team where a lot of players didn't want to be here. So you had a lot of players just asking to be released or traded or whatnot. So, you know, that's some shit. That's something totally different. I don't think nobody liked that coach that they had, and you know, that was that one and done coach. They brought him in, and Ugh, that was, ugh. I'm serious, that was like, ugh. And then you got the Lovie Smith year, where they fucking had, the defense was okay, but they defensive front wasn't where it's supposed to be. They only had like one, maybe two good defensive linemen, and they couldn't, I mean, they was just getting ran on, and you knew it was going to happen. You know, Texas knew it was going to happen, and it's just that. Yeah. But the offensive side of the ball, we got that Pep Hamilton guy here, who came in and started running some high school offense with no intricacy in it at all. None at all. To the point where you start looking and thinking we ain't got players. Players can't get open. Players can't do this. Players can't do that. You know what I'm saying? CJ Mills, you know what I'm saying? CJ Mills, what the fuck? That's probably what we need. You throw a couple of goddamn inches on CJ, get him up to about 6'5", goddamn. But, you know, Davis throwing interceptions and shit like that. But people throw all of that. The shit that was happening on the defensive side of the ball and the offensive side of the ball, that didn't have shit to do with him. It was the coaching and the defensive side of the ball, but they blamed everything on the quarterback at the time. He's a second-year guy, having to try to perform in an offense that was not going to perform in the NFL at all. It just wasn't. If CJ Stroud, I was going to say Mills again. If CJ would have came in last year, if he would have came in last year, oh man, they probably would have had a slighter better season. But with Pep Hamilton there, oh hell no. The only difference would have been, that's what you get this time of year. Everybody on their motorcycles heading south towards the coast. You know, they would have been talking some shit about, you know, was CJ, is he all about that, you know, is he live up to the hype? Because he wouldn't have done nothing in his offense that any of the other quarterbacks didn't do. You know what I'm saying? He wouldn't have. You want him, because he basically at this point, the only difference going to be between him and Davis is that he probably a bit more mobile than Davis is, because Davis is not as mobile. You know what I'm saying? As far as agility wise, you know what I'm saying? Like I said in my last video, I seen him running a straight line. He can run pretty goddamn fast. And then I think he done had 2 knee surgeries on each, a knee surgery on each knee. So, yeah, that. I figured, and I always said Davis Mills would have been great if he'd ended up playing behind somebody like Brady. If he would have ended up like in Tampa Bay somehow behind Brady, that would have been ideal for him. Anyway, this whole CJ Stroud thing. And then I be on Facebook and shit, you know what I'm saying? 'Cause my whole Facebook feed, Facebook figured I don't want to see nothing but cooking videos and NFL and football. That's it. We're going to show you football and cooking videos. You don't want to see nothing else. I'm like, I know I got people on my Facebook that post shit every once in a while, at least. But y'all, I don't see nothing but NFL news and cooking videos. I don't know. I be wanting to look at other shit, man. Nope, that's all you get to look at. That's what you've been looking at. That's what you're going to keep looking at, motherfucker. You don't need to see nothing else. But we running a different offense. We're not running that high school offense where there's no even a few announcers I seen Because you ain't going to see the Texans on any broadcast and no shit like that. Not last year you wouldn't. So you don't get like the breakdown of what what the broadcast team sees and all this other stuff. And I managed to see one. And they went over and they was going over the Texas offense and all this other stuff. And it was the same thing. It's just like, okay, you got this right here. They run this route, they run this route, they run this route. There's nothing intricate in there other than the receivers running the routes. There's none that you see from any other team to where there's a scheme to get the receivers open, inside of running the routes. It wasn't none of that. It was just the receivers running the routes. That's why every time you see Brandon Cooks catch the ball, it's a fucking out. You run an out. You run an out. That's it. Every once in a while, you throw something downfield, you might be able to get it. But he's fucking a small receiver. That's not really what you want to use him for. You got a big receiver that you never do that with. And Nico Collins. That's the kind of guy that's what he was brought in to do, but they never did it with him. All the toss-up balls always end up with Brandon Cooks, which kind of makes sense because he's a fast guy. And if it was somebody that was going to have space enough to do that, it would be with him. But you got Nico Collins, who's not a speed burner type of guy, but he's a bigger receiver that's supposed to be able to go up and get the jump balls, but you never really see that. Well, why not? Because he not gonna get open like that. There's no intricacy to get him open. There's no back shoulder throws. You know what I'm saying? You didn't see none of that with the Texans last year. You run up the field, boom, then boom, back shoulder throw it behind the goddamn receiver. You know what I'm saying? Just none of that. It's always an out route. Either it's an out route or the ball got to get thrown out of bounds, or the quarterback get fucking sacked or some shit. That's what the offense gave you. So but all of that's gonna fall on Davis Mills because he was the starting quarterback. And then they got the other dude that they put in there, Kyle Allen. I think that's his name, Kyle Allen. I think he had a fucked up ass knee injury too, but he was more mobile than Davis Mills was, as far as moving around in the pocket. And it's noticeable too. You know what I'm saying? It was noticeable until after he lost that spot. Because you know what happened? They stuck Kyle Allen in. They ran that same offense, and the same shit happened with a faster quarterback back there. The same interceptions, the same balls out of bounds, the same shit. You know why? Because the offense was dookie. That's why, and when I be like, okay, it might not be as clear cut who's gonna start this year. And if CJ Stroud start, it's gonna be because he's the second pick. People can say what the fuck they want to say. I don't think that he just clearly beats out fucking Davis Mills. I don't see it. I just don't fucking see it. That he just come in and just clearly better at Davis than no. I've seen Davis play on a shitty team. It's just okay. I know what people want to do. They want to blame somebody. Somebody got to be the fucking scapegoat. They got to be somebody on the field that's going to have to take the blame for what's going on. If it's not the quarterback, and then that's the only time. Now, but if it's not the quarterback, that means the offense is not the problem. You know what I'm saying? If you watch it. Most people are not watching. Most people are not fucking watching. They just watch the highlights and all this other stuff. They see the game, but they're not watching. They're not paying attention to what's fucking going on the field. Just like people watch the game. They don't know what the fucking offensive line is doing. They don't. The only time you see what the offensive line is doing is when when something fucked up happens. Other than that, you don't, they're invisible. You just know some guys up there, they got to do some shit. You know, it's only blatantly obvious when something on their side don't go right. And when it does go right, who gets the credit? The running back or the quarterback. You know what I'm saying? If it's a run that breaks out, big ass fucking wide open ass hole, well, who made that fucking hole? The offensive line did. Most people ain't gonna. A lot of football fans ain't gonna. They give all the credit to the fucking to the running back and shit, but quite frankly, it don't matter who your running back is. You ever watch the Texans? Now you watch the Texans play the Tennessee Titans quite a bit. And you know, Derrick Henry is ridiculous. It's a big ass fucking running back. I think he's bigger than Eddie George was a big ass fucking running back. Bigger than Eddie George. Probably faster. But if you watch them play now, I'm finna say this because even though knowingly he done lit the Texans up for like 200 yards on at least a couple of occasions running the ball. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying this because I know this, and I've seen it. I've seen it in one game that didn't mean shit though. To tell you the truth. One of those games where he set a record and shit like that was like the last game of the season and wasn't nobody fucking playing. He basically broke a rushing record in a fucking preseason game because wasn't nobody on the Texas team playing. That was a couple of years ago. But my point is, I've watched them stump that dude just as many fucking times. You know what I'm saying? Derrick Henry get the ball. Nowhere. Big ass fucking running back, you know? Because the offensive line can't open up no holes for him. It don't matter how big and giant fast he is. You know what I'm saying? Those defensive linemen just as big, and some of them just as fast as he is. And the linebackers, same thing. So, you know, he can't run up there by himself. But when the offensive line open up a little crack for him to get through, Derrick Henry. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, the credit for the running back begins at the linebackers. You break that first level, then it's on the fucking running backs. Then it's on the running back and the receivers if they downfield blocking, depending on the play. You know? It's always something. Anyway. And somebody had, that's another thing. That's probably why they took him out in the game too, even though he didn't have a good game. Because I didn't get to see the first part of the game. Even when I was watching the replay started. The replay started like after that. Like it was like for some reason we don't want y'all to see this. I went and watched a replay of the game where a replay started after CJ came out the fucking game. What the fuck is this? You know what I'm saying? But I saw somebody else say that a few of the starters didn't play, which makes sense because we already got our right tackle that just signed a new contract is out with a hand injury or some shit like that. So you know he ain't coming back to the season start. And then you got your other big money left tackle that, you know, for whatever, just no. You know what I'm saying? The preseason, nah. You know. And then they got a bunch of one other. They signed some legit offensive linemen. Let me just put it like that. They signed some legit offensive linemen. So come day one when the season starts, offensive line is not going to be a problem for the Texans. It's not. Unless injury. You know, can't do nothing about injury. So unless it's an injury, then okay, it is what it is. But that's not going to be an issue. At least right up front from now, because from the people I've seen them sign, from the limited football knowledge that I have, they should be good. They gonna probably have a rookie at center, but you know that dude name is Juice. You know what I'm saying? If you're a grown ass man, an offensive lineman, and your name is Juice, you can't suck. You just can't. And I'm not thinking he will. You know what I'm saying? I'm not thinking he will. He come from a football school, Penn State, I think it is. Couple from a football school. You get automatic credibility. Penn State, all right. Okay. Come from one of those little schools ain't nobody ever heard of. That's what you got to do. So. And speaking of that, football schools, Ohio State. I had a comment today. I replied to saying a bunch of the shit I just said, and then somebody that's what the Texans had. The Texans just signed like 2 wide receivers. You know what I'm saying? They did. They signed 2 wide receivers, and I seen one that they signed a wide receiver. Some dude named Bolden, something Bolden, and then they signed some other guy. I don't know. And I was like, that's 2 wide receivers. I was like, what the hell they plan on doing? Running the run and shoot down here or something? I was like, well, maybe they stacking shit for the they stacking the roster for the what's that? God damn it, the practice squad or something. You know what I'm saying? They might be bringing in people for the practice squad or something, or have some people that can soak up some reps or something, so they don't have to have their #1 guys out there or some shit. Because I don't think you're gonna see much of Robert Woods and Nico Collins and shit out there. I don't see it. Those are your veterans. You know what I'm saying? Those are your veterans that's out there. And then they got Bankdale and something Hutchinson, who's supposed to be a pretty good goddamn receiver himself. And they just signed 2. I don't know how many receivers you keep on the roster. I don't know. But somebody hopped in there and was like, man, well, you do realize that they just drafted the greatest pocket passer in college history. That shit. It's the second time I got that last week, where somebody started sucking on fucking filleting C.J. Stroud with his college shit. They just drafted the greatest. I'm like, after that last game I seen, I don't see that. Even though they didn't leave me in there to be able to tell all that, but I'm like, what's your point? That ain't got nothing to do. He said they bringing those players in, those weapons in for C.J. Stroud, not Davis Mills. They bringing them in for whoever the fuck is playing quarterback. Fuck are you talking about? You want to say the greatest pocket passer in college history? I don't think so. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm not down on CJ because I don't know that guy. And he #2 pick for a reason. And if the Texans didn't pick him, the next team was going to pick him. You know what I'm saying? So it really don't matter. He was going top 5 regardless. So I'm not down that. But that's the first thing people bring up. I'm just like, okay, so what we got here? Did we get Peyton Manning or did we get Ryan Leaf? Because both of them motherfuckers was quite notable coming out of goddamn college. One of them didn't turn out so well. Yeah. That stuff don't matter. I keep saying I had to tell this dude twice. That's well and good. But until I see it on the field, don't mean shit. Like that big dude Russell come out of fucking LSU, big giant ass quarterback, blah blah blah. He's supposed to have been all of this, that, and the other. Get into the NFL and didn't do shit. Come to find out, he might have been. Sometimes you can get drafted by the wrong organization. You just can't. And they just derail you all the fucking way. And he was he the first pick? He was up there, so he got that money. You know what I'm saying? That happened some years ago, and bruh is still living good. So, you know what I'm saying? Even the few years that he was in the league, he done. He ain't got to do shit else. He ain't got to do shit else. But then you end up with one of those. Then we get I cannot think of that dude now. I think that last name is Russell. But whatever it is, that big black guy, the big giant black guy, the big, not Jared Lorenzen, but he white, but you know, the other big quarterback that look like a fucking offensive line, a big huge motherfucker that can throw the ball across the goddamn country. But I saw him in an interview, and it's one of them things where he wasn't getting the guidance within the organization that you need to develop him. You know what I'm saying? It's one of them things where, you know, and like I said with CJ, you know, you know, that big Russell guy, you know, at that time in his life, might not have been the brightest. That time in my life, I wasn't the brightest. You know, and CJ is at that point now. You could tell that where he might not be the brightest. I ain't saying he's stupid, he might not be the brightest. That goes towards your decision making. To where it's like, okay, like that I said this in the other video. Man, I don't know if I posted that or not. With that, I don't know the name of all them tests they have you taking during the combine, but he kind of fucked that test off. Like he fucked it off on purpose. You know what I'm saying? That little IQ test that they give all the quarterbacks and shit like that. And, you know, you want to be scoring at least a 70 or 60 or whatever the fuck that baseline is, and he scored like a 20 on that motherfucker. You know? Like, yeah, I mean, it doesn't really matter. You know what I'm saying? It kind of does. It kind of does. And it shows that, you know, they throw people through all of that shit. You know, to see where your mind is. You know what I'm saying? As far as the game of football is concerned. If your mind is always somewhere else, they won't fuck with you. You know what I'm saying? You'll fight. Somebody will draft you, but you'll be way down in the draft and you've been and lost a whole lot of earning potential. So he was up there. We just hoping that whoever is mentoring this guy, like I know he was talking to Deshaun Watson and shit like that. And you know he probably got the same agent and all this other stuff. So you got to think that those folks would keep him alive because, well, not Deshaun, but you know his agent. To where it's like, okay, this is what happens on this level. This is what you need to do. You know what I'm saying? And see how people react to that. You're like, okay, this ain't a game now. This is a fucking job. You know what I'm saying? This ain't a game now. This is a fucking job. You can call it what you want, but it is a fucking job. I watched that quarterback documentary. You know, especially if you're new to a team but got a new coaching staff coming in and you got to learn a whole new goddamn system and shit. Motherfuckers walking around with books at home, studying and doing all kind of shit, going through fucking play calling drills with your family and shit like that so you can learn play. It's kind of shit that goes on. You know what I'm saying? This kind of shit that goes on. Motherfuckers is at home on a laptop and shit, going through play calling drills with their wife and their family, so they can, you know, while they at home and shit. It's just a fucking job. You know, when you get paid to do that, you know, you know, you look at it a little bit different. You know what I'm saying? You look at it a little bit different when you got getting them big ass fucking paychecks to play football. And you got to learn some plays. What do? You gonna learn them goddamn plays. You know, you put your little headphones like this. You have them shits on repeat. Like a motherfucker have some shit that he had in his fucking radio that play in his car to where he can recite. I think that was Marcus Mariota had some shit in his car playing so he can do the so he can learn the fucking plays and shit. Didn't do them all that well. Anyway, but is CJ at that level? I don't know. I have no idea. We ain't gonna get to know shit about CJ until the season starts. Is he gonna be the starter? I would say probably. You know what I'm saying? Does he just clearly go out to beat everybody as the starter? Nah, you know, I don't say he's just a clear winner. I don't think he just clearly beats out anybody in that quarterback room. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he just clearly beats out fucking Davis Mills. You know what I'm saying? He might beat him out of circumstance, but does he just clearly beat up? Yeah. Davis is a third-year quarterback. This is just his third year. He's still a young dude. Case Keenum been in the league over a decade. Does he clearly beat out Case Keenum? Fuck no. You know what I'm saying? He don't. He doesn't clear at this point. You know what I'm talking about? He just don't, because Keenan has all the intangibles. You know what I'm saying? You've been in the league for 10 years. He can go out there and do shit that makes shit look easy. You know what I'm saying? Because he'd have been there. The game is slowed down for him already. It's the same thing with Davis. The game is slowed down for them to where CJ still got to slow the game down for himself. That's why when CJ came out the game, each one of them other quarterbacks was able to come into the game and have a scoring drive. You know, because it's a preseason game to them, they just come in. They got the routine, they got the cadence and all this other shit already down. They all are learning the system for the first time. You know what I'm saying? They all are learning that system for the first time. So it ain't like it ain't like they brought another quarterback from San Francisco and they already know the offense and shit like that, so they got an upper hand. No, all of them are learning that system. So they all, like at this point, for whatever reason, if any one of those guys are in the game, I don't feel bad. You know what I'm saying? I want to see CJ play because I want to see what the fuck he can do. I want to see what the hype is. I want to see Davis Mills play because I want him to go ahead and prove everybody wrong. You know, saying how much he suck and all that other shit, and that's not fucking true. The team he played on suck ass, well, the coaching staff sucked. The team was actually pretty good. They would have had a playoff team if it wasn't for that goddamn coaching staff. You can say what the fuck you want. They could have been up there for a coaching spot. I mean, for a wild card spot. You know, they could have been like in the hunt for a wild card spot where they would have won the division and all that shit. Ain't no telling. But yeah, it's that. You know, the team weren't that far off. They lost a bunch of close games. You know, that's how they started off the fucking season. But fact of the matter is, that coaching staff fucked up that team. I've said that 100 goddamn times. That was not the players, because when injuries started coming along and all this other kind of shit, and the coaching staff was forced to do something other than what they was doing at first, the team did well. They damn near beat Kansas City. And that was one of those games where they had injuries and shit, and they couldn't run their regular offense. They had to come up with some shit. And they damn near beat them. They barely lost that game. And what happened when everything got somewhat back to normal? Same shit. Same shit. It just the same shit started happening. They started that goddamn platoon shit with that Wildcat. Oh man, whatever. We won't be seeing none of that shit. We ain't running the Wildcat with none of the quarterbacks we got. I'm happy to see that. If they bring in one of those running ass quarterbacks, I'm gonna be pissed off. I'm like, that motherfucker better not ever get in the game. He better not ever fucking get in the game. If you put him in the game and y'all start running that quarterback run shit, I'm gonna be pissed off because I fucking hate that. Quarterback runs are fine when it's organic. You know what I'm saying? When it's organic, you got a motherfucker in the game that can run, fine. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But when you bring a motherfucker in the game that can't do nothing but that, that's why that I can't even remember that goddamn quarterback name they had last year. That's why I'm like, how is he even a quarterback in the league? Because when he was in the game, you know, they like to say the coaching staff is dumb. If you want to throw motherfuckers off, you throw that motherfucker in the game, right? You throw that running quarterback in the game and run the regular offense. When they put the running quarterback in the game, they ran running quarterback plays. They already know what the fuck you finna do. He either finna run the ball to the left or run the ball to the right. And if he throw it, it ain't gonna be no more than 5 yards down the field. I can see that. You know what I'm saying? If I can see that, the people up in the goddamn stands that's talking to people on the field can damn sure see that. And anybody watching any goddamn tape can see that. And that's all they did all year long. At least at the tail end of the year when they was doing that shit. Yeah, man. Put him in the game, run the regular offense, catch him off guard. He a fucking quarterback. He been a quarterback for, I don't know, however long he was a quarterback before he got in the league. Even though he's a running motherfucker, he can't throw. I mean, how do you even get to the NFL at that point? Run your fucking plays. Run your fucking plays and have him throw a post route or whatever the fuck, a go route or some shit like that. Have him do that. To be like, oh shit. You know, all the people coming there, all the motherfuckers gonna start stepping up to the goddamn line of scrimmage. You got these receivers out here, most of them are fast as fuck. Boop, there you go, right there. And I know he can do it. You got receivers and fucking running backs that can throw fucking touchdown passes down the goddamn field on a halfback pass or some shit like that. Nigga, what the fuck you ain't doing in practice? Shit, throw the goddamn ball, have him run the regular offense. Then you stick fucking Davis Mills back in there, and he'll come with a regular old doo-doo ass offense that they could have run. No imagination ass offense they could have run. Just run Damian Pearson to the fucking ground ass offense, because that's the only fucking thing we got, because our passing game suck, because we don't have no intricate routes that we can run. We can't have people weaving through the shit. You ever notice when you watch the Texans play, you watch them old games for these the last few seasons, when the Texans play, even as good as the defense was at times, when you watch other receivers and shit catch the ball, they always wide the fuck ass open, because they kept running that fucking cover 2 all the fucking time. Everybody know how to break. Anybody that's past the age of 12 and played any amount of Madden know how to break cover 2. You know what I'm saying? They know how to break. They know how to bust cover 2. And you watch that shit over and over. Motherfuckers just middle of the field, wide ass open, bro. It's a hole right there in the corner, in between your corner and your safety. It's a hole right in between your corner and your fucking linebackers. Motherfuckers be wide the fuck ass open right in that stupid ass zone. You know, which you have to mix that shit up. You can't run man all the time. Motherfuckers look for man. You run man all the time, you finna get fucked up. You run zone, it's like, okay, but shit, they keep picking your fucking zone apart. You know, you let them pick your zone apart until you get to the fucking end zone. Till they ain't got no fucking room to maneuver and shit like that. That's your game plan? Love it. Lovey Smith, that's your goddamn game plan, son? That's why you got fired everywhere. Goddamn, son. You know what I'm saying? After you watch that shit happen, and you know who took the blame for all of that shit? Davis Mills. He don't even play fucking defense. That's my point, man. The same shit over and over again. Like, goddamn, come on. Don't run that no more. But, you know, and then the Texans when the Texans are all on offense, all the passes got to go out of bounds, or it's a little out route that as soon as all the catches are contested, motherfuckers catching the ball with motherfuckers wrapped around them and shit like that. It ain't no catch and run situations. When the Texans play, it's catch and run, blah, blah, blah on the defense. Motherfucker catch the ball wide ass open, middle of the fucking field. How the fuck does that even happen? Every once in a while, we'll have a tight end that'll drift wide the fuck ass open. I think a couple of our biggest plays last year came from tight end. And then you start to realize, well, why we don't never go to that more? You notice the kind of plays that usually break for the Texans, it only happens so often. It's just like, well, if our tight ends are the ones that get open down the field, you know, across the middle of the field or whatnot, but why we don't see that more often? Exactly. And that's the kind of shit I'm expecting to not see this year. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm expecting not to see this year. The dumb shit that they did with CJ, I'm going give them a mulligan on that because I'm thinking that they, like I said, I'm thinking that they holding his reps till later on. But we shall see, man. Oh, and the dude that was throwing up the goddamn stats. Yeah. Then when I made my little statement about them, getting the wide receivers and him talking about, they getting weapons for CJ and blah, 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 blah. Best fucking pocket passer in the Big Ten history or whatever the fuck he said. Sucking on his little dick. I'm like, hold on, let me go. I go look at it. I tap on this goddamn thing. Big ass fucking Ohio State helmet. He got a picture of somebody. It's like some dude. He got a picture of it looked like a linebacker or something in his profile picture. That's all I need to say. If I go to your page and your cover photo and your cover photo and what's his name? Profile picture is Ohio State. I see where you're coming from already. I can't take you serious because you talking about CJ Stroud. I'm talking about the Texans. You know what I'm saying? There's a difference. Apparently, you are an Ohio State guy. You're not a Texans fan. You are a Stroud fan. So you don't know what the fuck been going on with the team. You know what I'm saying? You don't know what the fuck been going on with the team. You saying this, that, and the other, but I'm like, yeah, I don't see it that way. I'm here in Houston. Been watching this team since day fucking one. You're an Ohio State fan. You one of those fans, you don't see me with an Oregon. I'm an OSU guy, but it's a different OSU. It's a couple of different O's. You got Ohio State, you got Oklahoma State, and you got Oregon State. Well, I just happen to be Oregon State. But you don't see me with no Oregon State helmet and shit all over, It was cool last year to have two Oregon State players on the team. We still got one, that big tight end. I'm not going to say Quintariano, I think his name is. And that other guy, he's not here no more. He in Dallas. Didn't want to be here either. He was pissed off they didn't trade him last year. You know why? Because this shit-ass offense. You know what I'm saying? He saw that shit. That's why he was mad when he didn't get traded during the little trade deadline last year. He was mad. Damn near didn't show up. He didn't show up for practice or some shit like that, and he ended up getting suspended for a week or whatnot. Dude, he didn't want to be here. He didn't want to be here. And that dude see what the fuck was going on. He had been a productive receiver until he got here in Houston. And that's exactly what the fuck I'm talking about. That dude had been having 1,000-yard seasons every goddamn year until he got to fucking Houston. Until that second year where they'd already signed him to that big ass contract, which I don't really think they should have did. He's not a number one receiver. I don't give a damn how many 1,000-yard seasons he got. He's a little fast guy. He's not a number one receiver guy. He's not a Steve Smith. You know what I'm saying? But he was like the best receiver we had, which was a problem. I'm like, shit, I'm trying to think. I can't even think his goddamn name now. But if he our number one receiver, that's a problem right there. If our number one receiver is a fast 5'10" guy, then, we ain't on the right path. But it didn't matter who he had at receiver because the offense wouldn't have let nothing happen no way. But anyway, yeah, I saw that, and all right, that's a fanboy right there. I can't take nothing he say seriously because he not following the team. He following CJ. He talking about this, that, and the other. Now, bro, you ain't been watching the Texans play. And if you've seen the Texans, it's only been in passing. I've been on this bitch every Sunday watching the fucking team and shit. That's what You know, I've been in this shit, so I ain't, you know, like I said, I'll wait until like he won't have the euphoria everybody else down here had when D'Amico Ryans got the job. You know what I'm saying? It just wasn't. That was the buzz. That was the buzz before CJ popped up. It's still the buzz. You know what I'm saying? It's still the buzz. It's gonna be the buzz for a while to have one of your homegrown players, you know, that came into the NFL through your organization, through the end of his career. I think he went to Philadelphia at the end. But, you know, to come back to where most of his shit was, you know what I'm saying? Like, shit. That's the buzz right there. But, you know, that guy is not going to be that part. He's a fucking Cleveland Brown or fucking Cincinnati fan or some shit like that, you know, somebody somewhere up there. That's where he is. You'll follow CJ down here just because he's an Ohio State fan. I ain't gonna begrudge some people that shit. I'm not that kind of fan. I don't watch college football. When I got out of high school, I didn't watch high school sports, and when I was done with college, I didn't watch college sports. So, you know, it doesn't interest me. So I watch the NFL. I don't watch no USFL or no XFL. I don't watch none of that shit. I watch the NFL. And then what's that? The XFL? The fucking uniforms are fucking horrible. My vision already bad. I don't need to make it worse. Especially our team down here for one of them leagues. I don't remember which league it is. The Roughnecks with the fucking split down the middle two-tone shit. I'm like, who the hell approved that? You know what I'm saying? You got your helmet is one color on one side, the color on this side, jersey, one color on this side. Look like fucking Two-Face, man. It's just like... I'm like, get the fuck out of here. I don't want to see that shit. I really don't. I don't want to see that shit. So, and I don't know how those teams are going to keep consistent teams because all their players keep getting signed. You know, like I said, my Facebook ain't nothing but news, food videos and football news. And, man, they done picked a bunch of them teams clean. Matter of fact, the Texans, one of the receivers come off of one of them teams from one of the other leagues. Matter of fact, a couple of players come from one of those leagues. I'm just like, and that's what you expect. Another team call you, you going. Except for that one quarterback. I can't think of his name. One of them high draft pick ass quarterbacks from way back when. You know, at this point he was a backup. You know what I'm saying? At this point he was a backup, but he'd rather play in one of those other leagues so his kids can watch him play. Even though the pay ain't nothing close. And then when I say ain't nothing close, nothing close. But you got to think about it. This dude had made millions upon millions his first few years in the league. And then of the millions he made as a backup, just from like regular paychecks those years, till now he can play in the league. You know, you get to a point where you know you ain't gonna be nothing but a backup in the NFL if you there. He'd rather play. He'll start the quarterback in one of these off leagues so his kids can watch him play. Even though he only getting paid 5 figures. I think he was only getting paid 5 figures. It wasn't no 6-figure thing. He wasn't no 6-figure player in the NFL. You know, if he was getting paid, it was 7 figures. Not no ridiculous high 7 figures, but pre-taxes, he was getting over $1 million per season. You know what I'm saying? To be a backup. So, yeah. That type of stuff, but everybody, all the normal people, because like I said, he's been in the NFL, high draft pick, all this other stuff. he'd have made all this money. You know what I'm saying? He'd have made all this money. If he just really wanted to get back in the league, I'm pretty sure he could. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure if he's starting in one of those other leagues, he can damn sure be a backup in the NFL. But like I say, at some point, you know, money is only important when you need it. It ain't really important when you got it. You can't really spend all you got. You know what I'm saying? At that point, you already knew everything in life that you're supposed to have taken care of is taken care of. You know what I'm saying? Everything else, every other paycheck you get is just icing on the fucking cake. You won't even have to touch that. You know what I'm saying? Or that's all you touch. You could be like fucking who was that? Shaq, who to this day probably haven't spent any of his NBA money. You know what I'm saying? He was getting paid so much money from other shit that he didn't have to touch his NBA money. What you say about that shit? You know what I'm saying? How you got your side hustle is so strong that you ain't gotta you ain't gotta even touch the money you get from your main gig. That is some shit right there. Anyway, I'm not even talking about football no more, so let me get the fuck up out of here. Hopefully, I upload this. Cause I'm gonna go look, and it's gonna be, and the other video is probably gonna be on there, but whatever. I'm finna get up out of here. I got a burrito waiting on me, and I'm hungry, so I'm gonna catch y'all on the flip side.